Good morning, Mayor Rilling, members of the Fire Commission, Chief Gatto, and distinguished guests. My name is Lieutenant Scott Rywalt, and today I'll be presenting a community risk reduction plan focused on reducing residential structure fires in the city of Norwalk. Residential fires pose an evolving risk in Norwalk due to an aging infrastructure, demographic changes, socioeconomic factors, and diverse housing conditions. A community risk reduction plan will address these challenges. The goal is clear: reduce the number of fires and build a safer, stronger community through education, engineering, enforcement, emergency response, and economic incentives. The 5 E's of fire prevention. After analyzing various hazards in Norwalk, the specific risk I focused on is the occurrence and impact of residential structure fires in our community. Despite advancements in alarms, sprinklers, codes, and public education, we are experiencing a dangerous upward trend. As of the beginning of September, Norwalk had already documented 29 working fires, putting us on pace for our highest number of residential fires in almost 50 years. Building fires are often caused by conditions such as the improper use of cooking appliances, careless smoking, and overloaded electrical equipment. A lack of working smoke detectors and hoarding conditions have also made fires deadlier and far more difficult to contain. While technology and codes have advanced, the underlying risks in our neighborhoods persist. The purpose of this community risk reduction program is to reduce the number of residential structure fires while minimizing their impact and resulting damage. The Norwalk Fire Department is committed to protecting lives and property, not only by responding to emergencies, but also through prevention efforts and public fire safety education. By focusing on residential fire risks, this plan enhances community safety, decreases property damage, and reduces firefighter injuries and harmful exposures. Understanding our community is essential. Norwalk has a population of nearly 94,000 people. Although the unemployment rate has dropped to under 3%, about 10% of residents still live in poverty. Norwalk is a diverse city with many cultural and language needs. We also have densely populated neighborhoods with aging homes, multifamily buildings, apartments, and senior housing. Substandard conditions, overcrowding, and unsafe heating practices all increase the risk of fire. In addition, new housing developments and senior housing projects are changing our population's needs, requiring us to adapt our prevention strategies. We are fortunate to have 136 firefighters and officers, 5 stations, and a full range of staff support. That makes us strong on the response side, but every fire we prevent saves us from having to put those resources in harm's way. Our challenge is not about whether we can respond, it's about whether we can reduce the need to respond. Our risk analysis is based on NFIRS data, First Due software, census and housing data, and socioeconomic studies. This provides us with a comprehensive study of where fires happen, why they happen, and what populations are most vulnerable. Several risk factors stand out, including an aging infrastructure, a high concentration of multifamily dwellings, nearly 430 senior housing units with more being developed, and language and cultural barriers, particularly in South Norwalk. Each of these variables creates unique challenges for fire prevention and community involvement. Historic areas, lower income communities, and older multifamily homes are generally regarded as high-risk neighborhoods. Trends in our community reflect urban decay, gentrification, and seasonal fire risks. In winter, we see heating and cooking hazards. In summer, grilling, fireworks, and overloaded electrical systems. Storms in the fall and spring add their further challenges. Together, these factors guide us on how we set and prioritize our strategies. Residential structure fires were determined to be the greatest danger for Norwalk based on our data analysis and the 5 E's of community risk reduction. Weather-related emergencies, falls among our aging population, and public safety hazards like active shooters and drug overdoses are examples of secondary risks. However, residential fires continue to be our primary concern. In the short term, this community risk reduction program will reduce cooking and heating related incidents, improve safety in senior housing, and lower injuries and fatalities through better preparedness. The advantages are increasingly significant over time. Fewer fires will occur, the economy will be more stable, fire department resources will be used more efficiently, and fewer households will be displaced by fire. Our mitigation strategies are guided by the 5 E's of fire prevention. Education. We are educating our targeted risk populations by implementing targeted fire safety programs, cooking classes, smoke alarm distribution, and specialized training for at-risk populations. Engineering. We promote reliable solutions such as alarms with 10-year batteries and residential sprinkler systems. We also use NFPA's Community Risk Assessment Insight Generator, Craig 1300, to track trends and help us prioritize our risk reduction strategies. Enforcement. This involves regular inspections, compliance tracking, occupancy enforcement, and addressing unsafe conditions, including hoarding. Emergency response. Through pre-incident planning, rigorous training, monitoring response times, and evaluating containment benchmarks, we ensure operational readiness. Finally, we remove barriers to safety by offering free smoke alarms, inspections, and by developing partnerships with insurers and housing authorities. Together, these 5 E's form the foundation of our approach to protecting the community through both prevention and response. Short-term strategies for this program include visiting schools and nursing homes, installing alarms, and targeting inspections in older housing. Long-term strategies focus on building a culture of prevention, promoting newer technologies, integrating safety checks into daily operations, and increasing staffing in the Fire Prevention Division as the community continues to grow. To evaluate the effectiveness of our strategies, we have established clear benchmarks. First, we aim to reduce residential fire incidents in South Norwalk by 25% over the next 3 years. Second, we will install more than 1,000 smoke detectors within the next year. Third, we are working toward full code compliance in high-risk multifamily housing. Fourth, we plan to improve evacuation times in nursing homes by 20% within the year. And fifth, we will ensure that staff in nursing homes reach a 100% passing rate on emergency protocols within 18 months. These measurable goals provide accountability, allow us to track progress, and guide any necessary adjustments to strengthen our program. The expenses for this program will include outreach materials, smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, extinguishers, personnel, training, and inspection tools. The funding will come from municipal budgets, FEMA grants such as fire prevention and safety, and the staffing for adequate fire and emergency response, partnerships with local businesses, insurance company grants, and cost sharing with schools and housing authorities. Finally, a cost-benefit analysis shows prevention is considerably less expensive than response and recovery. Every fire prevented saves money on direct costs like property damage and emergency response, as well as indirect costs such as relocation, medical expenses, and lost wages. Investing in prevention pays dividends many times over. In conclusion, the most significant community risk in Norwalk continues to be fires in residential buildings. To mitigate that risk, our community risk reduction program makes use of partnerships, data, and the 5 E's of fire prevention. Through collaboration, commitment, and proactive strategies, we can protect lives, safeguard property, and build a safer, more resilient community. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.